What is up, you guys? It is another episode of the Sci-Fly Zone, where the multiverse meets the seventh inning stretch, and today's destination is once again playoff baseball because, wow, the playoffs have just been so exciting this year. And I mean, even just like leading up to it with the teams getting into it and just all the controversy that's happened throughout the wild card and divisional rounds, it's been crazy. But we have our first divisional round victim. RIP New York Yankees. Did not think y'all were going to go out like this. At least you guys won a game. I will give you that. You fought back, and I do respect you guys for that. But, I mean, man, the starting pitching troubles in this series were just insane.
Yeah, I mean, overall, they did have a good win in one of the games, but overall, this was a dominant Blue Jays series. The offense was just way too much for the Yankees to catch up to and way too much for them to subdue. I mean, some of the performances from some of these guys were just like otherworldly, and they were playing like this was the World Series, basically. It was a great series for the Blue Jays, and they have a lot of momentum going into the ALCS.
Yeah, man. Who do you think they're going to be facing off against?
It's tough, man, because it's the Mariners and Tigers series has been, for most of the games, has been very close. We'll get to what Game 4 was like, but I think Game 5 is going to be a really close one too. It's probably going to be Tarek Skubal and Luis Castillo starting in Seattle, so they have the home field advantage. I think I'm going to go with Seattle, man. I think
I want Seattle. So
I want Seattle. I think Seattle and the Blue Jays would be a really good series. I think it would be a little bit more competitive than a Tigers Blue Jays series. No disrespect to the Tigers, but I feel like with the way that the Mariners have been playing compared to the Tigers and the Blue Jays, I feel like the Mariners would put up more of a fight, you know? And while the Tigers do have Tarek Skubal going, so they're probably going to have a lot of confidence going into the game, especially considering the momentum they built off of Game 4. But every game that Tarek Skubal has started against the Mariners this year, the Mariners have won. So you can't really say that the Tigers have the advantage there because the Mariners have shown that they can figure it out with him on the mound.
Yeah, man. And let's see a 2-homer game from Cal Raleigh, one from each side.
Oh, man, I'd love that. That would be so much fun.
Let's do it.
Yeah, dude.
So let's go over Game 4, Blue Jays and Yankees. The final nail in the coffin for New York season, unfortunately. One thing I want to note here, 8 pitchers from Toronto in this game. I mean, talk about teamwork.
Yeah, man, this was a big bullpen game for the Blue Jays, and it went pretty much as well as it could have, you know, honestly. I mean, keeping the Yankees to 2 runs and only 6 hits over the 9 innings, striking them out 10 times. Like, it was a great bullpen game for them. Everybody did their part, and they're going to have several days for everybody to rest their arms because ALCS doesn't start till Sunday, so they're going to get a good break in between.
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't result in them losing their momentum. I doubt it. You know, I feel like that argument is kind of falling off nowadays, you know?
Yeah. Kind of like what we were talking to Ian about the other day. Like,
yeah,
would you rather have the bye round and get some rest or stay in the mid-season shape? And it seems like a lot of the times getting that break when you have such a grueling season is helpful for you.
Yeah. You know, I don't think players are like, yeah, dude, I just want to keep playing nonstop.
Yeah.
No break. I want to feel stressed.
Yeah. I want to keep my soreness. I don't feel sore enough. I want to hurt more.
yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely more on the side of I would like a break, but like not too long though, you know, like 2 weeks or something like that. That's crazy. Like I would definitely lose momentum, but it's just till Sunday. It's fine. Little 2 or 3 day vacation. It's good.
Yeah, yeah, and the Blue Jays have been so good all year that I don't imagine it's going to have that much of an impact on their performance in the next series.
Now, and another thing for the Blue Jays, Vlad Jr., holy crap, what a series this man has had. I mean, as soon as that bat flip happened from that grand slam, things have just been off the rails for him. I mean, in the playoffs, he's batting .529 with a 1.6 OPS.
Yeah, man, it was an incredible series for Vlad Jr. He didn't carry this offense because the offense was great anyways, but he was the central point of this Blue Jays offense and why they were as good as they were. I mean, 9 RBIs over 4 games, 3 homers, including that huge grand slam in game 2. Like, he is going to be a really fun player to watch going forward in the playoffs because he wants to win bad, and this series meant a lot to him because he famously does not like the Yankees.
The Yankees lose. The Yankees lose. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
He has said before, like, I will never play for the New York Yankees in my career. And he's a pretty intense guy, like, already, especially when it comes to like big time games like this, like games that matter. But the fact that it was a Yankees just like made it matter even more for him. And I feel like he just like turned it up just another notch. And I mean, you could see it by the way he was playing. He was incredible. And even against Cam Schlittler here, who had a good start against the Blue Jays, they figured out ways to score runs when they needed to. Obviously, the first inning, the Blue Jays got ahead early in the first inning by, you guessed it, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. had the first RBI of the game, obviously. Yep. And but Cam Schlittler would only allow 1 more earned run for the rest of the game. However, he was credited for 2 earned runs because there was what was ruled as a fielding error by Jazz Chisholm, but I don't know if it was a fielding error. I mean, Andres Jimenez just like scorched the ball to his right, and it bounced off his palm into center. So, I mean, he would have had to make a great play to turn a double play there, but that play ended up taking Schlittler out of the game. They would go to Devin Williams from there, and then a single later on from Nathan Lucas would score 2 more runs to make it 4-1, and that was enough because the Yankees would only score 1 more run in the game to end it 5-2 to make them the first team eliminated from the division series.
Yeah. And also just the Blue Jays got 12 hits this game. I mean, the offense like never slowed down, even if like they weren't necessarily scoring runs. Like they were still applying pressure the whole way through.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. They were making the pitchers work for sure. They were making the pitchers work, they were making the defense work, and it was too much for the Yankees.
Yep. So that takes us now to the Mariners and the Tigers, and we have 2 games to cover from that series. So game 3 resulted in a 8-4 win by the Mariners, and kind of a similar story to the Blue Jays, just a lot of really good offense in this game. They were 4 for 9 with runners in scoring position, so that definitely helps.
Yeah, those timely hits are very important, especially in a series that has had some really close games. I mean, the first 2 games of this series ended 3-2, so this was kind of a different outcome than we were sort of expecting.
Yeah, and not to mention the pitching was also locked down. Logan Gilbert, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 7 Ks, no walks. And then everyone in the bullpen had a 1-2-3 inning outside of Caleb Ferguson, who did have a 3-run, 3-hit, no out outing.
Yeah,
that was tough.
Yeah, definitely. That's they were lucky in this situation with how good of a start that Gilbert had and how good the rest of the bullpen was and how good the offense was. But going forward, they're gonna need some better outcomes from Caleb Ferguson than that.
Yeah, and the Tigers, they need to step up their defense a little bit. 2 errors in this game. Not good.
Yeah, I believe the first run of the game was scored on an error, too, for the Mariners. Just a ball that goes through Dylan Dingler's legs. A ball that goes through Dylan Dingler's legs. Just super unnecessary. Like, there's really no other explanation for it, to be honest. Just the catcher didn't catch the ball. I don't know what else to tell you.
It was a ballsy play for sure. But yeah, so game 3, resulted in 8-4 Mariners win, but it's just been back and forth the whole time because now the Tigers struck back 9-3 in Game 4 to tie up the series, sending it to a deciding finale, Game 5, happening tomorrow. Super crazy.
Yeah, this was a big game. This was a very big win for the Tigers, obviously because it was an elimination game for them, but they got a lot of momentum from this as well. Casey Mize was taken out very early. He only went 3 innings, but he was looking good. He struck out 6 batters, only gave up 1 run. Interesting enough, this is the second game in a row that Casey Mize was taken out after 3 innings. So I don't know if they just don't have as much faith in him right now as they did in the first half of the season, but he has been struggling a little bit more. One interesting thing I heard is that first time through the lineup, batters have a 671 OPS against Casey Mize, and the second time through the lineup, batters have an 800 OPS against Casey Mize. So
that's a jump.
So yeah, maybe there was something there that the manager saw, but honestly, it would prove to be a good decision because the bullpen would pretty much shut it down. Other than Tyler Holden, who came in and allowed all 3 batters that he faced to get on, Kyle Finnegan would come in the 4th, very early for him, and he would get out of the inning pretty well. He got a double play and a run did score on it. Then he would get a pop-up, so only 1 run scored on what could have been a much worse inning for the Tigers. And from there, I mean, once the Tigers were able to knock out Bryce Miller, like he was looking good against them, but they got him out of the game in the 5th, and they immediately jumped on the bullpen, like back-to-back RBI doubles, including a pinch hit double by Jahmai Jones, makes it a 3-2 game, and then Javier Baez ties it. And the Tigers scored 9 unanswered runs against the Mariners, and the Tigers bullpen just completely shut it down for them.
Yeah, definitely. And on the other side, the Tigers offense, I mean, they scored runs on basically every single pitcher that the Mariners threw in outside of one guy, and that was their final guy that they brought in. Literally the first 4 pitchers that they all scored runs against them. Like I don't know what to make of it, just because like earlier in the series, we saw 2 times it was a 3-2 final. So now, like, what's the difference?
Yeah. I mean, the Tigers scored as many runs in this game as they had in the previous 3 games combined. Like, yeah. I don't know what got into them in this game. It was a completely different story than the start of this series, and this was actually, surprisingly enough, the most runs that the Tigers have scored in the playoffs since the 1968 World Series Game 6. They have not scored 9 runs in the playoffs since then, which feels crazy to me because they've had some really good teams.
Really? They've never had a higher scoring game than that?
Yeah, since almost exactly 50 years.
Wow. Dude, that's actually mind-blowing. I really thought, like, especially that 2012 team that went to the World Series. Wow.
I mean, they've had Miguel Cabrera, they've had like some incredible players on their team, and they've had some great teams, but they just, I mean, this was just a different story for them.
Yeah. That's a crazy fact, dude.
Yeah.
That's some good lore.
Yeah. Speaking of lore, there's some more lore about AJ Hinch now because this was his 1,000th career win as a manager. So, I mean, it's a great way for him. It's a great win for him. And it's a great win for the Tigers because they have a lot of momentum going into Seattle.
Yes, sir. Who's going for that Game 5?
Exactly who they want. It's Tarek Skubal starting for the Tigers, and it's going to be Luis Castillo going for the Mariners. 2 of the most consistent pitchers for each team. You could consider both of them the ace. I know Brian Wu's had a great year as well for the Mariners, but I mean, these 2 guys are like the guys that each team has counted on in these big games. So it should be a really good game. Obviously, I mean, neither of these ballparks are very hitter friendly.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a great pitching matchup.
Yeah, I really do hope the Mariners can somehow pull through. Like you previously mentioned, a lot of the games that the Mariners have played against Tarek Skubal, they've won. So I would like to see that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, although if the Tigers do move on, I'm not going to be mad at seeing more playoff Tarek Skubal,
Yeah, 100%. but they're probably going to need him to go deep into this game. I know he's planning on going deep into this game, but they've used a lot of bullpen guys recently, especially in the last game. So they're going to need another great performance from Tarek Skubal.
Definitely. So what do you say we move over to the National League to cover the game threes that have happened before we talk about the ones that are going to happen today, the game fours?
Yeah, sounds good.
So Cubs and Brewers, funny enough, we're talking about 3 and 4. That was the final score of the game. Cubs won 4-3, or Brewers lost 3-4, however you want to look at it. Either way, I mean, I was really surprised to see the Cubs win this one. Honestly, I thought the Brewers were gonna kind of just steady sail.
Yeah, I honestly did too. But I mean, the Cubs just managed to just barely hang on, because they would score 4 runs in the first inning thanks to a leadoff home run by Michael Busch, who was benched in the previous game for whatever reason. Justin Turner got the start over him. But they would score 4 runs in that inning. They knocked out Quinn Priester before the first inning was over. And Quinn Priester had the highest win percentage in baseball this year for any starting pitcher. So, like, that was huge for them. But they would not score any more runs for the rest of the game. Like, the Brewers bullpen just like completely shut it down from there. But the Cubs were just a little bit better, because the bullpen threw 5 innings, only allowing 1 run, to give the Cubs the first win of the series.
Yeah, dude, I really love to see teams like pulling it together when they absolutely need to. And I feel like we've been getting so much of that in the playoffs this year, outside of the Dodgers and Red series. Unfortunately, we've already talked about that, the sad salary series. That's just what it is. That's what it is. And no fault to the Dodgers. They found their loopholes. They know how to make it work. And also their owner is putting in more money than seemingly any other owner. So they're doing the right things to put a good ball club out there. So it makes sense why that series played out the way that it did. But the Phillies, they won, and they won good. I mean, it was really hard to watch Kershaw just get hammered like that last night.
Man, it's going to be one of the biggest questions of like our era of baseball, is like, why was Clayton Kershaw probably the best pitcher of his generation in the regular season and was just looked completely different in the playoffs? Like, it's really unfortunate. It's not going to affect his Hall of Fame resume at all. He's going in first ballot regardless. But yeah, I mean, it is something that, I mean, I'm sure he's not happy with it. Obviously, he wants to be performing and doing better for his team, but like, it is really, really unfortunate to see it, honestly.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's also heard many times the whole comment of him being worse in the playoffs too. So I'm sure there's like a speck of him that wants to like prove everyone wrong, and it only kind of feels worse when like his performances validates everyone's criticisms in a way.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, and I hope he gets another performance. Like, I do want the Phillies to win the series, but I want Kershaw to end his career on a better performance than that.
Yeah, me too. And it was kind of hard to just like I guess for me, because last video I had faith that he would work better out of the bullpen. Like it kind of made more sense for where he's at in his career, but the Phillies just like managed to put the ball exactly where they needed to every time they made contact, whether it be extra base hits, singles, or home runs. Like, they had all of the sorts during that 8th inning meltdown. And it was really funny. I was at a bar with my girlfriend. We were watching the game, and everyone left the bar at the same time people were leaving the stadium. Like it was happening simultaneously. And it was really funny too. Like when Max Muncy made that one error at third base, this one lady was like, "Max Muncy, just Muncy, Muncy, Muncy. Get Max out of there." And she just kept saying that for like a minute. Just kept saying, "We need to get Max out of there."
I think we need to get Kershaw out of there. How about we bring in a different
That's
reliever?
what I was saying. It like get this, like, after Kyle Schwarber's home run, I wanted him to get out of there.
Yeah. I mean, Kyle Schwarber, 2 home runs in this game. He is obviously a big performance by him. including a 455-foot shot, which I believe is either 10th or 11th all-time postseason home run distance recorded by Statcast.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was pretty cool. Interesting enough, we talked during the regular season about why the Phillies were as good as they were, and a big part of it is because they were relying on their big name guys. They were relying on Trey Turner, JT Realmuto, Kyle Schwarber, and Bryce Harper, pretty much, and obviously the incredible pitching that they had too. And the Phillies were not really looking like the same team this series as they were during the regular season. And Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, and Kyle Schwarber in particular were not looking the same as they were during the regular season, because they were 2 for 21 combined going into this game in this series. And
but they switched it up.
They absolutely switched it up. They combined for 7 for 13 with 2 homers, thanks to Kyle Schwarber, and 5 RBIs and 3 runs scored in this game from the 3 of them at the top of the lineup. So, I mean, you can tell like immediately the difference that they make in the team. This was a great win for the Phillies, and it was a great performance for each of those guys.
Yeah, and also JT Realmuto had 2 hits and an RBI as well. And really interesting concept that the Phillies played with here. Aaron Nola, the opener. And then Ranger Suarez comes in for 5, only gives up 1 run on 5 hits, 4 Ks. Then Kirk Ring comes in for an inning scoreless, and then Taijuan Walker comes in for 2/3. Does give up a run, but not enough for anything bad to happen. It was scary at one point. I think the bases were loaded, but he got out of it, and then Banks finished it off.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting way to approach it. Obviously, Aaron Nola has struggled this year for the Phillies. He was 5-10 with an ERA over 6 going into the postseason. He has been dealing with injuries, but like the Phillies were very open about the fact that they had Ranger Suarez ready. They were probably going to go to him, and he was probably going to throw the most innings for them. And credit to them, that's exactly what happened. Aaron Nola did look good. He struck out I think 3 batters over 2 shutout innings, only giving up the triple to Mookie Betts.
Yeah, only 1 hit. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he was looking good, but the Phillies weren't willing to wait for it to get out of hand. You know, they went right to Ranger Suarez, and despite giving up a home run to Tommy Edman, the first batter he faced, he would go the next 5 innings without giving up a run, and the bullpen would pretty much shut it down from there. So it was a great win for the Phillies, and really important momentum going into Game 4.
Yeah, and I mean, what better time for Yamamoto to give up more than 2 runs in a game?
Yeah, man.
And he only gave up 3. So like he still pitched like decently for Yamamoto standards, but like when does that happen? Like he's been like 1 run or no run, maybe 2 runs for like the last few months, and probably and like more or less the whole season. And now 3 runs on 6 hits? I mean, like you said, the big name guys decided to finally wake up today against the Dodgers' arguably best pitcher besides Blake Snell. Like it's really crazy baseball stuff going on here.
Yeah. The Phillies picked the perfect time for this to happen, and Yamamoto picked the wrong time for this to happen. He's been incredible all season. Finished the season with, I believe, a 2.49 ERA. He's probably going to finish top 5 in the Cy Young. But I mean, seemingly an uncharacteristic start for Yamamoto, but what does that say about Yamamoto? The fact that he gave up 3 runs, and we're saying that doesn't look like him, you know? Because like a lot of pitchers would be happy to give up 3 runs over 5 or 6 innings, you know? And the pitching this playoff series, especially this series for the Dodgers with Ohtani and Snell and Yamamoto, they have been looking great, and they've been a big part of why they've been successful. Yes. So if the Phillies can get to those starters and get them out of the game and get to the bullpen, which we've talked about is a little more inconsistent, that's going to be big for them.
Very, very big. Yeah. Because the bullpen hasn't been as reliable. So if you get the starting pitching out, you have a much higher likelihood of making it work. And now they literally have 1 less pitcher they can work with, because I don't see Clayton Kershaw going into Game 4, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't see them going to him either.
Maybe Game 5. Maybe I could see him doing a couple innings if if things are going good. I don't think he should even touch a 3rd inning.
Yeah,
honestly.
no.
I love you, Clayton Kershaw, but I don't trust past 2 innings. And
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that. Aaron Nola, he's in the exact same boat. And what did he do? He gave 2 phenomenal innings, gave the ball over to Ranger Suarez, and he got the job done. And that's what you can do for your Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I hope he does get another chance to make a positive impact for his team. I don't really see him coming into a game if the Dodgers don't have like a 3-run or 4-run lead. Like it's probably not going to be a close situation that he comes into the game, but um, I hope he finds a way somehow.
Yeah. Although they do have to get through a fully rested Christopher Sanchez tonight.
Yeah, and he has
13 and
been
5 on the year with a 2.5 ERA.
yeah
2.5.
he's been one of the best pitchers in baseball this year. Like it's going to be a tough game for sure. The Dodgers do have Tyler Glass now, and he has been good for them when he's healthy. But I mean, the the Phillies have the momentum. They have the advantage for the starting pitcher. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah. Tyler Glass now needs to go at least 4 to 5 innings.
Yeah.
At least
Mhm.
3 runs or less. I think that has to be the minimum for the Dodgers to have a chance to move on, because if not, I really do see the Phillies just continuing to apply the pressure, whether it be swinging the bats or on the base paths or some really good pitching. I see them doing all of those things. So the Dodgers really cannot make any mistakes today, because,
Yeah.
it's not the first time teams have lost 2-0 in the division series. The Cincinnati Reds, if you guys remember, 2010 or 2012.
Yeah, 2012, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
guys remember 2012? So tough. It can happen.
yeah. And especially with this Phillies team, there are so many ways that they can beat you. And like you mentioned, like on the base paths, hitting with the power, pitching, and we've seen managers be very strict with some of their starting pitchers when they get into tough situations. We talked about Casey Mize getting cold after 3 innings, only giving up 1 run. So I'm interested to see how Dave Roberts is going to play it. I know he wants his pitchers to go deep in the game, and he's probably going to wait a little bit longer to pull Glass now, unless he gets into some real trouble. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they play it.
Yeah. And on the flip side, we got the Brewers and the Cubs tonight, with Milwaukee leading the series 2-1. And they got probably their best guy, Freddie Peralta, on the bump. And they got Matthew Boyd on the bump for Chicago. And last time Matthew Boyd stepped on the bump for Chicago, things did not go well for him. So I don't know, because playoff baseball works in a way where sometimes things happen exactly the opposite as they did before, and then sometimes things can just continue to fall into predictability. And I think he's going to have an okay start, but I think the bullpen will probably give away after he gets out. That's just what I'm feeling, and the Milwaukee offense will just single them to death, basically.
Yeah, they very well may do that. I mean, we've talked about the Brewers like scoring early and scoring in the first inning. So if Matt Boyd has a good start, I don't really see him like finishing the 6th inning. I feel like he's going to go 5+ at max, and I think they're going to go with the bullpen from there. It's really just going to depend on whether or not the Cubs can get to Freddie Peralta, because he's been also one of the best pitchers in the National League. I mean, he's finished with a 2.7 ERA. He was 17-6 for the Brewers. So obviously they have a great offense and giving him great run support, but he's been great all season.
Yeah, man. I would really love to see the Brewers move on, but if the Cubs do beat the Brewers, that will be probably the biggest upset of the entire playoffs.
Yeah, probably. I agree with that. Yeah.
And I do kind of like upsets.
Same. Yeah, me too.
So, you got anything else you want to add here today?
I don't think so. I think that's pretty much it.
Bing Shaling. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah, I'm good too.
Cool.
All right. So I think that wraps us up today. What do you think, CJ?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Cool. So next episode, baseball wise, we're just going to be continuing to update y'all on what's going on in the playoffs, what we think is going to happen. We'll definitely cover the ends of all these series most likely and head on to the championship series. We're very excited. And, once we get to the World Series, we'll be going even more in depth into stuff, more predictions, more all the fun things. We're going to be giving you guys a lot of fun baseball content for sure. And if you guys like DC content, Marvel content, we do that too. The season finale of Peacemaker is coming out. We are going to be covering it, reviewing it, breaking it down, and going through the implications of it and how it affects the broader DC universe and how it could possibly set up the Superman movie, although it's technically not a sequel. I don't know. They really need to clear that up because it's kind of confusing. But Man of Tomorrow, Superman and Lex Luthor are teaming up to fight a bigger threat, which we are theorizing is Brainiac. So that's awesome. I really hope Peacemaker does set that up in a pretty cool way, and that's what we're predicting. So if you like that stuff, then react with us when we make that episode and you watch it. It'll be great. And if you like the video, hit that like button. If you want to join the community, hit that sub button. If there's anything that you want us to break down or talk about, leave it down in the comments. We'll be happy to do it. And we hope to see you in the next one. Have a good one.